Iran, also called the Official Republic of Iran, is a country in Western Asia. With 83 million inhabitants, Iran is the world's 18th most populous country. Its territory spans 1,648,195 kilometers squared, making it the second largest country in the Middle East and the 17th largest country in the world. So in this video, I will be talking about 10 biggest events that have actually occurred in Iran's history. How's it going, FTD Facts family? It's your girl Rawan Hedefa, and I'm coming back at you with another one of your favorite videos. Again, like I said, a couple of changes with our new videos as we're not able to film in the studio and are actually filming from home. Rest assured, again, bringing you the best quality that we can possibly offer. As you may know, Iran's name has kind of been circulating around in the news recently due to the COVID-19 outbreak. However, COVID-19 outbreak is not the only big event that has actually happened in Iran and caused Iran to also come up in the news multiple times. So let's just jump into it and talk about these big events that have occurred in this country. So starting from the 7th century BC, Cyrus the Great declared himself the king of Medes, which is essentially an ancient Iranian people who speak the Medean language and who inhabited an area known as Medea between western and northern Iran. Cyaxares was the third and most capable king of Medea, according to Herodotus, with a far greater military reputation than his father. He was the first to divide his troops into separate sections of spearmen, archers, and horsemen. By uniting most of the Iranian tribes of ancient Iran and conquering neighboring territories, Cyaxares transformed the Median Empire into a regional power. He facilitated the fall of the Neo-Assyrian Empire, and according to Herodotus, repelled the Scythians from Medea. Event number 9. The 6th century BC was of huge importance regarding the timeline of Iran's history. During the 6th century, the Achaemenid Empire was founded by Cyrus the Great. The Achaemenid Empire was also called the First Persian Empire and was an ancient Iranian empire based in Western Asia. Incorporating various peoples of different origins and faiths, it is notable for its successful model of a centralized, bureaucratic administration. For building infrastructures such as road systems and a postal system, the use of an official language across its territories, and the development of civil services and a large professional army. In that same century, Persia had also conquered Egypt. In 525 BCE, the powerful Achaemenid Persians led by Cambyses began their conquest of Egypt, eventually capturing the pharaoh at the Battle of Pelusium. Cambyses II then assumed the formal title of pharaoh, but ruled Egypt from his home of Susa in Persia, leaving Egypt under the control of a satrapy. So fast forward to the 7th century, and Persia is now a whole lot different than it once was, because in the 7th century, the Muslim conquest of Persia, also known as the Arab invasion of Iran, led to the fall of the Sasanian Empire of Iran, otherwise known as Persia. Many localities fought against the invaders. Ultimately, none were successful. In fact, although Arabs had established hegemony over most of the country, many cities rose in rebellion by killing the Arab governor. Eventually, military reinforcements quashed the insurgency and imposed Islamic control. Conversion to Islam was gradual and incentivized over a period of centuries, with some never converting still to this day. However, there were cases of scriptures being burnt and some priests being executed, particularly in areas that experienced violent resistance. In the 11th century, the poet Ferdowsi finished writing the epic poem known as Shahnameh, which was a huge touchstone to the modern Persian language today. Consisting of some 50,000 couplets known as two-line verses, the poem is one of the world's longest epic poems. It tells mainly the mythical and to some extent the historical past of the Persian Empire from the creation of the world until the Arab conquest of Iran in the 7th century. Modern Iran and Afghanistan are also influenced by Persian culture, such as Georgia, Armenia, Turkey, and they all celebrate this specific national epic. The work is of central importance in Persian culture and Persian language, regarded as a literary masterpiece and definitive of the cultural identity of Iran. One of the biggest events that took place were in the 20th century, and that was the Iran-Iraq War. The Iran-Iraq War began on 22nd of September in 1980, when Iraq invaded Iran, and it ended on August 20th of 1988, when Iran accepted the UN-brokered word ceasefire, Iraq wanted to replace Iran as the dominant Persian Gulf state and was worried the 1979 Iranian Revolution would lead Iraq's Shiite majority to rebel against the Ba'athist government. The war also followed a long history of border disputes, and Iraq planned to annex the oil-rich province and the east bank of the Shatt al-Arab. Although Iraq hoped to take advantage of Iran's post-revolutionary chaos, it made limited progress and was quickly repelled. Iran then regained virtually all lost territory by June 1982. Okay guys, so we're down to the last 5 events that took place and are taking place in the 21st century for this video. But before I go on, I want to make sure that you click that subscribe button so you're constantly notified of all our new videos. And give this video a big thumbs up while you're at it too. Click it right now, I'm watching you. So in 2009, Iran dealt with a lot of election protests. In June, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad was declared to have won a resounding victory in the presidential election. The rival candidates challenged the results, and their supporters took to the streets, and at least 30 people were killed and more than 1,000 arrested in the wave of protests that followed this event. In August, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad sworn in for second term as president and presented the cabinet, the first since the founding of the Islamic Republic in 1979, to actually include women. Another big event in the history of Iran was the nuclear deal in 2015. The Iran nuclear deal framework was a preliminary framework agreement reached in 2015 between the Islamic Republic of Iran and a group of world powers known as the P5+1, which are the permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, otherwise known as the United States, the United Kingdom, Russia, France, and China, plus Germany and the European Union. According to the joint statement in Switzerland, the P5+1 countries and Iran agreed on a framework for a deal. According to this framework, Iran would redesign, convert, and reduce its nuclear facilities and accept the additional protocol with provisional application in order to lift all nuclear-related economic sanctions, freeing up tens of billions of dollars in oil revenue and frozen assets. In addition to the joint statement, the United States and Iran issued fact sheets on their own. However, President Trump announced the US withdrawal from the 2015 international deal, so Iran in turn warned that it will begin increasing its enrichment capacity if the deal collapses as a result of the US move. From mid-March to April 2019, widespread flash flooding affected large parts of Iran, most severely in Fars, Luristan, and other provinces. Iran had been hit by 3 major waves of rain and flooding over the course of 2 weeks, which led flooding in at least 26 of Iran's 31 provinces, and at least 70 people died nationwide as of April 6. The first wave of rain began on March 17, leading to flooding in 2 northern provinces, with one of the provinces receiving as much as 70% of its average annual rainfall in a single day. Several large dams had been overflowed, particularly in Khuzestan and Golistan. Therefore, many villages and several cities had been evacuated, and about 1,900 cities and villages across the country had been damaged by severe flood, as well as hundreds of millions of dollars of damage to winter and agriculture infrastructure. And number 2 is an event that many of you may be familiar with, as it sparked a lot of rumors for the arrival of a new World War III. That is, Quds Force Commander Qasem Soleimani, responsible for Iran's military support for the Syrian government, was killed in a US airstrike at Baghdad airport, prompting Iranian threats of retaliation. The US responded by launching airstrikes across Iraq and Syria, killing 25 Khatib. US officials then justified their responding strike, claiming it was necessary to stop an imminent attack, though later clarifying we don't know precisely when and we don't know precisely where. The legality of the attack was subsequently brought into question in respect to international law, as well as the domestic laws of the US. Last but certainly not least is the COVID-19 outbreak. The COVID-19 outbreak has begun in Qom, which is Iran's religious capital and home to the country's top Shiite clerics and seminaries. It has since metastasized to other nearby cities such as Tehran, Isfahan, and Kashan. It has hit the upper ranks of governments, infecting cabinet members, senior members, military, and clerical establishments. On March 16, Ayatollah Hashim Batai, a member of the Assembly of Experts responsible for selecting Iran's next supreme leader, became the latest senior figure to die. For the first time in 6 decades, Iran has also requested emergency funds from the International Monetary Fund to help fight the crisis of the COVID-19 outbreak. So overall, it seems like Iran and, well, the rest of the world should be in all of our prayers tonight. Okay guys, that's all I have for you for this episode. Iran is a country full of rich history, and although they've had a couple of dark times, including the current COVID-19 outbreak, the country's people always unite together and know how to overcome adversity together. Make sure to leave your comments down below and let me know if you've ever been to Iran or if you plan on visiting the country as soon as the pandemic, calms down a little bit. Wait, before you leave this video, I'm gonna leave you with another video that you have to check out. You don't want to miss this one, trust me. Oh, and make sure to check out my YouTube channel and Instagram down below to see what I've been up to. I look forward to seeing you guys in our next episode, and make sure you're staying safe and healthy. Bye!